As a boy, he grew up in the church, singing hymns on Sundays and listening to sermons about right, wrong, and God. But deep down inside, he was hiding a secret that he believed made him unworthy, even to God. That boy was Montero Hill, better known today as Lil Nas X. He would rise to fame, shatter records, but eventually stir up global controversy. At first, many thought that his talents was a blessing, but over time, through relentless attention seeking behavior and shocking stunts against God, critics began calling it the very cause of his downfall. But before we dive into that story, my name is Steve, and this is LTS. If you enjoy content like this, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And so, with all that being said, here we go. Born in 1999 in Lithia Springs, Georgia, Montero grew up in a Christian household. As a child, he attended church regularly, but behind the pews and gospel songs, he struggled with homosexual feelings, a concept that his church community often spoke out against. And over time, the fear of what others would say built up a massive internal conflict that stayed with him throughout his teenage years. He would later on admit to the fact that he would pray to God to take the feelings away, but the struggle never left. And while music gave him an escape, he continued to carry into adulthood a deep conflict between faith and who he believed himself to be. Now, Montero was obviously musically inclined, and in 2018, while living with his sister, he created a song that would change his life forever. The name of the song was Old Town Road. This song didn't just go viral, it rewrote music history. It became the longest running number one on the Billboard Hot 100, earning him Grammys, millions of dollars, and the title of global superstar. But as his career grew, so did his desire to push back against the world that he believed had judged him. And so in 2021, he released Montero, Call Me By Your Name, a track that celebrated his sexuality in the boldest way possible. You see, he made a music video, and during that video, it showed him pole dancing into hell and giving the devil a lap dance. And this imagery to many was seen as mocking God. And then to top it all off, he released the infamous Satan shoes, complete with pentagrams and alleged drops of human blood. This stunt sparked outrage. Nike sued, parents boycotted, pastors called it blasphemy, and while he claimed it was just satire and that he was mocking the way that church leaders had condemned him, many saw it as open rebellion against God. And so all this controversy brought him attention, but it came at a cost. You see, his later singles couldn't match the dominance of Old Town Road. Concert ticket sales were down, and for many he was no longer seen as groundbreaking, but as someone who did shocking things in a desperate attempt for attention. And since then, he's had health issues and runs with the law. At the heart of Montero's story is a young man who grew up in an environment where he couldn't talk about what he was struggling with. And sadly, that's something that we still see far too often, even in our churches. There are sins that we openly condemn, like taking someone's life. There are others that we quietly excuse, like sex before marriage. And then there are those that we condemn in silence, like homosexuality, where it's not a crime, but if someone were to confess the struggle, they'd be met with harsh judgment instead of love. But this should never be the case in the body of Christ. We need to be able to, in love, tell someone that what they're doing is wrong, while still reminding them that they are not too far from God's reach. And some people will say that if we really love others, that we wouldn't say anything at all. But that's not true either. Because if someone claims to follow Christ and yet stays silent to the truth, it's like seeing someone's house on fire and just walking away pretending like you didn't see anything. Temptation does not define who you are. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, be blessed.